Well, good afternoon. Fantastic to have you with us here on the Sportsman Rugby League for our first Betfred Championship offering of the season here at Boundary Park. Oldham against Halifax, just 2 points separating these two teams in the league table. Delighted alongside me to have Elijah Taylor of Oldham. Not playing this afternoon, Elijah, but a really interesting 80 minutes of rugby league on the way.
I can't wait. I'm excited for this clash. We haven't played Halifax this year. They've started off 5 wins in a row for the competition. 2025, Kyle Eastman's brought in a new style of play. They're a lot better than what they were last year. And the clash in the middle is going to be important. Zane Musgrove makes his debut for Oldham, and I'm looking forward to seeing how he goes with Gil Dudson off the bench.
Two clubs with playoff ambitions. We've mentioned how tight it is in that cluster of teams fighting for it. This could be a very important game come the end of the season.
This could be a massive game in the context of Oldham season, for sure, because we haven't been stringing our wins together comfortably lately. We've been in some tough games, and we're still a bit hurting from that 1895 Cup loss to Featherstone last weekend. So it's been a tough week of training, and the best way to get back on the horse is with a win against a strong team like Halifax.
Well, a fascinating 80 minutes of rugby league on the way. Let's hear from the two head coaches, Kyle Eastman and Sean Long. Sean, great to have you with us. I know you'd have liked to have got over the line in that semi-final last week, but what's the week been like in response to that?
Yeah, it's been really positive. Obviously, we were disappointed with the loss, but we've parked that now. We've got to get back into the league, and it's really tight at the moment. So we've had a good week's prep. We've got a couple of lads just come in. In Matthew Pons and Zane Musgrove, so that'll boost up the team with the injuries we've had, but really look forward to today.
You mentioned how tight it is in the league. A couple of wins, certainly against the other teams that are up there, can fire you right up the table. An opportunity to get that today. What do you expect from this Halifax team? Yeah,
we expect a tough game, no doubt. Carl's got them fired up and they're playing some decent rugby. They've had a couple of injuries of late, probably that's hindered the performance, similar to us, but both teams were going out there to get the win, and we feel like we've probably got them in the pack a little bit. Our pack's quite strong, and so if we can go after their middles a little bit and do a job on their back three, then it's half the battle really. So we get a couple of wins. We got obviously Halifax today, and then we've got Hunslet next week, and they've got weekend off. So if we win a couple of games, you're back in the mix in the top 4. So that's our aim.
You mentioned new signing Zane Musgrove comes in. What will he bring to your side?
Yeah, he's an alpha male, and he's got power. He's a big lad, and we just want him to go out there and rip in, and then we can play off the back of that. Hopefully, we get some ruck speed, and our nines can get out and cause a bit of havoc. So, yeah, it's all about doing the basics and the fundamentals well today, and hopefully it's a good day for us.
Conditions look all right. Surface immaculate at home in front of a good crowd. Is this an opportunity to put the wrongs from last week and some disappointing performances right?
Yeah, for sure. We've had a tough run in, no doubt, and we've come against some good teams in Toulouse and Featherstone, and no game's easy at all. So, but we're looking to, set a tone today with going forward, and I think it's all about attitude for me. You can strip it right back and get things wrong, but I think it's all about the lads going out today and having a real good attitude and working hard for each other.
Well, best of luck today.
Cheers, mate.
Kyle, thanks for joining us. What's the running? What's your week been like coming into this one?
Yeah, look, it's been a good week. Like we said, we didn't have a game last week, so managed to do what we needed and get the work in, and I like to say we're ready to go.
How useful was that little period off in the middle of a busy season?
Oh, crucial. There's plenty of battered bodies and banged up bodies, and it's the same for everyone in it. So needed, refreshed, looking forward to the game.
Two clubs very obvious about their ambitions, two clubs that will want to be in that playoff picture come the end of the season. What do you expect out of this game?
Oh, it's going to be a good game, tough game. We respect Oldham, immensely. We've prepared the best we can, respected them, but now it's about us. We've got to focus on what we can do and how we can deliver our game, and hopefully that's enough.
How much of a bonus is it to be able to bring in a try scorer, an NRL try scorer like David Nofaluma halfway through a season?
Yeah, look, it's needed, in terms of competition for places, and also, we've had a lot of players play a lot of games, and look, his quality is evident. We've got to do what we can around that to make sure he's comfortable, and he just got to concentrate on his own job. You know, there's 16 other players out there who've got to do what they've got to do too.
It's a nice big surface, flat surface. It feels like the kind of place that he can be used to full effect.
Well, absolutely. You know, within our game plan, what we've got to be good at is to concentrate on what we're doing as a team, not as an individual. So we'll do that. That's what we've been doing all year. We look forward to it.
Well, best of luck today, mate.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Nice one. So two head coaches with some new signings to welcome into their sides this afternoon. Let's take a look firstly at how the home team Oldham line up. Phoenix Laulatogagai is the fullback. It's a wing pairing of Mo Agoro and Matthew Pons. Inside them a centre pairing of Riley Dean and Ben Davies. In the halves, plenty of experience and flair. Danny Craven and Josh Drinkwater play behind the pack, fronted up by James Chapelau, Bailey Aldridge, George Hurst, with Ryan Lannon and Matty Ashurst in the second row. Adam Milner locks in the pack for Oldham. And coming off the bench, Eli Polissier, Ted Chapelau, Gil Dudson, and new signing from the Warrington Wolves, Zane Musgrove. For the visitors this afternoon, Kyle Eastman starts off with Louis Jouffret at fullback, Ben Tibbs and Alfie Johnson, a debutant on the wing, David Nofaluma and Bradley Graham in the centres, James Woodburn Hall and Jack Hansen are the halfback pairing. In the front row for the Panthers, Owen McCarron, Ronan Dixon have Adam O'Brien inside them at hooker with Zach McComb and Adam Tangata in the second row with Jack Fairbank completing the lineup. Coming off the interchange bench, Thomas Inman, Connor Davies, Maxine Jove on debut and William Colcott. So there are your two teams. The sun is coming out here at Boundary Park. Should be fantastic afternoon of action from the Betfred Championship. Elijah, what's the mood been like in the camp after that cup exit at the weekend?
Yeah, it's been somber. As a competitive player, you want to play in the big games. You want to play at Wembley. You want that opportunity. It might come once in a lifetime, once in a career. And a lot of players have missed out, and a lot of players will probably never get the opportunity again. So it does sting a bit as a rugby league player that, it's the pinnacle to play at Wembley. So we've had a big week. It's been upbeat. The boys have trained well. We've prepared well for this Halifax outfit. That's going to be a very intense game, especially through the middle. And Sean Long's got the boys ready to go and rip in this afternoon.
An interesting little spell in the middle of the season where teams across the Championship have been able to reinforce their squads with new signings. We've mentioned Zane Musgrove for Oldham. For Halifax, David Nofaluma, a player I know you know very well. What will he bring to the Betfred Championship?
So I've played with Zane Musgrove and David at the West Tigers in the NRL. It's just their experience and their profile as well. The more players we can get in the championship with that calibre of credentials and career stats, it's only good for the championship to raise the level, raise the intensity, raise the awareness of a competition that is so hard. It's so hard, the championship. There's some games that are harder than playing in Super League. There's a lot of talented players that don't get the flowers they deserve that are playing here in this competition. And the more we can raise the profile, the more we can get star-studded players that can come and play championship, it's going to elevate the competition, and it's only good for rugby league here in the United Kingdom.
Really strong crowd building up opposite us here at Boundary Park. Oldham, one of the real success stories of rugby league in the last couple of years, from the wilderness really back here to Boundary Park, and also a really strong travelling contingent from Halifax as well. Should be a fantastic atmosphere for a game that, as we've said, could have some very serious implications as the season goes on. It is so tight at the top of the Betfred Championship. Conditions absolutely perfect here in Oldham as we get ever closer to kickoff. Brilliant to have you with us here on the Sportsman, our first Betfred Championship offering of the season. We've had great fun, haven't we, in the Challenge Cup and the Women's Super League. Now into the second tier. What's Sean Long, what's his message been this week in terms of just putting things right?
Sean Long's been talking about completion of sets. So the last month, our completions haven't been where they need to be in order to perform and win continuously week in, week out. So he calls them trap 20s. If we can complete the set, we can kick the ball into their corners, and if we make 4 tackles inside their 40 metres, that goes a long way to winning a football game. It's simple, but it's an effective measurement. We call them trap 40s. If we can get 10 a half, that puts us in good stead to win football games. Every time we've had over 20 trap 40s in a game, we've won the game. So that's the measurement we've used this week going into this vital clash against a strong Halifax outfit.
You just said that you found some games in the Championship harder than playing in Super League. You've got plenty of experience, of course, of the NRL in the Betfred Super League as well. Were you almost surprised at what the quality in the second and third tier is like over here?
Absolutely. You're playing against players, you don't know how they play. You're playing against players that haven't deserved the platform with their skill set, or they haven't played in the Super League because they haven't got the opportunity. There's so many talented players that deserve an opportunity in the Super League, but they haven't got it. And when you play against players that you don't know how they play, it's very difficult to defend against. Where you're in the NRL, you know exactly how the Broncos play. You know exactly every player in that team. You know them inside out. You've watched them for the last 7 years of their career coming through. So everything's predictable is what I'm trying to say. But when you play Championship, you're playing against players you've never seen play before. And mate, I've been hit by some big tackles. I've been stepped so many times. It's a good competition, and you can feel the grassroots about it. The local teams, the local communities all get behind their team. The push for promotion, I think, that's taking some of the edge out of the competition this year, knowing that there is no Super League opportunity at the end of the season for a Championship team, which I think needs to be looked at, definitely. But with players like David Nofaluma, Zane Musgrove, Conrad Harrell playing for Halifax when he was at the start of the season, it's just made the Championship so much better.
So both teams back in the sheds for some final words of inspirations from the two head coaches. They'll be out very, very shortly. Boundary Park, well, when I got here, it was pretty overcast, a little bit of rain in the air. Still plenty of wind whipping around here in Oldham, but the sun is out. The pitch is in immaculate condition. You could play snooker on it. Everything's set up for a really good game of rugby league football. Oldham, as we've mentioned, missed out on the place at Wembley last week in the 1895 Cup, losing to Featherstone. Halifax had the week off, so it'll be interesting to see how that comes into play, whether they'll be fresh or whether they'll be just slightly out of tune, having not had a game.
I'm looking forward to the outside backs of Halifax. We've spoken about David Nofaluma at length, but Geoffrey, the fullback, is so dangerous. And Woodburn Hall, I'm a big fan of him. The way he plays tempo. He knows how to control a game, speed up a game, slow down a game. His footy IQ is very good for someone that plays in the halves. His kicking game as well. But in my opinion, his strongest asset is his running game. The way he runs the football and takes on the line. Yeah, he's a really good player. Someone to watch out for this matchup.
There's a bit of a French flavour to this game. Louis Jouffret has been at Halifax from the start of the season, but now that the Elite One competition has come to an end over in France, we've seen a few players make the hop across the channel. Eli Pelissier, no stranger to anyone who's watched London Broncos and various Betfred Super League Championship sides over the years. Maxime Jobe will make his Halifax debut. Mathieu Pons had a short spell with the Panthers last season. He's in for Oldham, so good to see a bit of French flair coming into the Betfred Championship this afternoon. Moments away from the teams coming out here.
You're correct. The best French players that the competition have just finished, they come over here for a higher level in competition in the Championship, which again adds to the depth of the Championship. Players want to come and play in this competition to get exposure, to hopefully sign a Super League contract maybe for next year. There's just so many opportunities that they get here when they come over and play Championship.
And they come over sharp as well, don't they? Having just come from the business end of their season, they should be right at the top of their game. It's a fantastic competition they have over there. Based mostly in the south of France, some really interesting parts of the rugby league world. Here in Oldham, a famous part of the rugby league world. We've got an absolute cracker from the Betfred Championship on the way. So here come the teams. Halifax first. led out by captain Adam O'Brien. A lot of noise from their travelling fans over on that far side. We'll be having a minute's applause for a stalwart of their club, Hilda Hardy, who sadly passed away this week. I'm sure they'd have spoken about that in the Halifax camp, getting the win in memory of her. And loads of anticipation about seeing some of these new signings in action. As we've said, David Nofaluma, he's done it all in the NRL. West Tigers record try scorer. And here come the home side. Josh Drinkwater leads out Oldham. A team with a point to prove perhaps after last weekend. Certainly a point to prove that they can still have a successful season in the Betfred Championship and fire themselves even further up the table and even further into that playoff picture.
It's been a big week for Oldham. Some changes have been made to the squad from our last LT against Featherstone. Sean Long's gone for a big bench. Gil Dudson, Chapelhow, Zane Musgrove. Big men that are going to come in 20 minutes time. I'm going to enjoy to see Elio Pellissier off the back of some quick rucks because he's a running dummy half. If there's any opportunity to run a ruck, his first instinct is to run. And it'll be interesting to see the battle through the middle. If you've gone for a big pack, you're a coach. That means you're going one direction and that's through the middle, nowhere else.
So the teams line up for a minute's applause in memory of Hilda Hardy, a Halifax stalwart known as Mrs. Halifax around the club over a long association going back to the 1950s.
Her devotion and time was put behind the scenes made her a cornerstone of the club's fabric, and she shared a truly special bond with the players. She was recognised for her outstanding service when she was inducted into the RLFC's prestigious Roll of Honour in 2008 and became a life member of Halifax Panthers. Our thoughts and heartfelt condolences of Hilda's family and friends. Her loss will be deeply felt across the Rugby League community, but her legacy, her kindness and her unwavering love for Halifax and the game of Rugby League will never be forgotten. If you are able to, please stand to show your appreciation with a minute's applause that will begin and end on the referee's whistle.
So there we go, brilliantly recognised. Hilda Hardy, a Halifax stalwart. Impeccable minute's applause in her memory. And now we get ready for kick-off here at Boundary Park. It's going to be Oldham who get us underway, kicking from right to left in your screen in their traditional white with red hoop shirts. Halifax in their change strip, all black and gold. They'll get first taste of the football. First opportunities to try and establish a foothold in this game. So it's going to be Drinkwater who gets us underway. Matty Lynn is the referee this afternoon. Puts his hand in the air and away we go with the Betfred Championship. Halifax up and running, and you mentioned the completion rate. Elijah, will be something that both teams will be very keen to get right, certainly in these early sets as we try and win the yardage battle.
Correct, that's the goal of each team. First 5 minutes is to complete your first 5 sets. It's a simple game plan, but it's so effective, especially in the back half of each half. You need to start well and complete your sets.
Our regular viewers of the Sportsman will remember early on this season we showed Halifax in Challenge Cup action against Catalans, and were absolutely outstanding that day. They took that form into the Betfred Championship, winning the first 5 games. Yes, Kyle Eastman looks like he's taken the coaching like a duck to water.
He has. Speaking to Adam Talangata, the way they train, the way they play, their game plan. Kyle Eastman's IQ has changed the way the Halifax team played, differently from last year. The huge leaps under Kyle Eastman.
So too much on that first kick from Halifax. It's a 20-metre tap for Oldham to get their first set of the afternoon underway. And Agora comes off his wing looking for work early on, makes some decent progress up towards the halfway line. Now, Ryan Lannon, plenty of experience at this level and in the Betfred Super League, of course, with Salford and Holkar. He's stopped on the halfway line. Oldham now coming out to the left-hand side, and Craven just have to put a little bit of footwork on to evade a couple of tackles. Up the middle they go. Good contact in defence from Halifax. Not a bad opening set this though from the home team. They've got themselves into decent field position early on. It's Matty Ashurst, all of his experience of course with Wakefield, the championship winner last season. He'll play the ball 11 metres away. They'll come short side, looking to try and force some numbers. Davies could be over, and Oldham score their first set of the game, and Oldham are in, and it's Ben Davies crashing over on the left-hand side. Talk about completing your first 5 sets, scoring on your first one's not bad.
Yeah, Sean Long will be very happy with that. Very simple set from Oldham, setting up in the middle of the field, then coming to this left edge. As you said, Matty Ashurst running a nice line off Josh Drinkwater, off his left shoulder. And again, the experience of Drinkwater from the Super League Grand Finals, Super League playing for Warrington. All he has to do is find the right pass, and he finds Ben Davis for the first score.
We'll just see it again. It's a little bit of misdirection almost from Drinkwater. Davies cuts back across the line and just finds the hole. And it's all quite easy in the end for Davies, the former St Helens man. Another player that's joined this Oldham team partway through the season.
Now we go back to the poor kick put in by Woodburn Hall, a 7-tackle set. You don't want that in your first 5 minutes. It upsets your rhythm, your flow of the game. And Oldham took advantage of it. 7 tackles, they rolled through the middle, came to this left edge where their experience is, and Josh Drinkwater, all he had to do is find the right pass.
And he finds the kick as well, adding the 2 points. So a perfect start for Oldham. 6-0 lead straight away, and well, a real statement early on in the game. You just see Davies able to get away from a couple of defenders, find that gap on the inside with the Halifax defence trying to shuffle across, not able to in time.
So I've just noticed that David Nofluma is defending at centre. I've never seen him defend at centre, so Josh Drinkwater will notice that, and he's no doubt coming to that left edge more times this half.
Well, he is listed on the in the centres in the team sheet, so maybe a little positional shift from Kyle Eastman with his new man. Oldham again looking to get on the front foot straight away. Phoenix Lalatoga guy trying to step away from a few tackles. Here's Ashurst, he'll bring it up to the line where he bumps off the tackle of Hansen before eventually being stopped on the 40. Again, Oldham look to that short side. Toga guy up to the line, almost managing to step away, but Hansen there to stop him on this occasion. This is the last, so the kick will come from pretty much the halfway line. Taken well in the end by Alfie Johnson, another player on debut, season-long loan from the Warrington Wolves.
Great set there by Oldham. Simple set after points, as Sean Long would say.
From a Halifax perspective, they'll just want to get through this set, put a better kick in at the end and settle into this game now, won't they?
Absolutely, that's what your halves are here. Woodburn Hall needs to take control, get to the forwards, to the place where you want to get a good kick away from. And Halifax can build into their half of the set.
So up towards halfway come Halifax. Owen McCarron stopped pretty much on the halfway line. This is the last, so the kick will come from inside their own territory as Hansen puts a ball. It's a tall one swirling around. Taken cleanly by Mathieu Pons.
Great head there.
Big contact going in. Owen McCarron that was, making sure that his shoulder stayed in that tackle. Oldham up to the 20. See that contact again. Real bone rattler.
That's what you want from your second rowers, putting on big shots to encourage the forwards to get off the line with line speed.
So Drinkwater up to the line, drops it off to Jay Chapelou, the two twins dovetailing for Oldham this afternoon. Ted on the bench. Sure we'll see plenty of him throughout the afternoon. This is the last, so again Oldham kick from inside their own half. That is high and spinning around all over the place, and Jouffret does well to get himself underneath it, because that was coming down from a tall distance.
The wind's particularly strong, holding the ball up. Danny Craven is a very good kicker of the football, but that went 10 metres up in the sky. He'd be disappointed with that.
Well, we can see the flags to our right-hand side on top of the stand behind the sticks, and the wind is really rattling around. So O'Brien, a dummy half, short ball to Ronan Dixon, who gets up over the line, over the 40-metre line. He'll play the ball. O'Brien will go one way and then come back to the short side. Jouffret will try and jink his way through. He's stopped. Fifth and last. So out they come to Hansen, who puts the kick across, and again it holds up in the air. Agoro underneath it. Takes a couple of goes, but brings it in safely. He's done well under that kick in the end, Agoro.
He's done well there, Mo. Under all sorts of pressure. The wind as well, as Halifax yardage defence comes into play. Ryan Lennon with the carry.
We've spoken about the threat of the outside back to Halifax. If Mo Agoro gets any kind of open space this afternoon, what a player he is to see in full flight. Again, a big contact going in. And again, he's Owen McCarron for Halifax, making his presence felt early on in this game.
He's on today, McCarron. That's two big shots.
Drinkwater cramped along the line. Oldham finding some joy over on this left-hand side.
Again, Nofaluma at centre. That's a big concern. He's never played there before.
So Davies plays the ball. Kick goes up. Again, swirling around in the air. Underneath it is Alfie Johnson, who's dealt with a couple of difficult ones well already early on in this game. Jouffret now into the line at half-back, and they'll look to try and apply some width, but Brad Graham unable to get away. Back to Jouffret they come. He'll try and step his way through the line.
Outside backs of Halifax are so dangerous when they get this roll on. 6 again, given by the referee.
So out they come to Jacob Fairbank, who's up over the 40. Halifax just starting to make some decent field position after a disastrous start to the game. Here goes Woodburn Hall trying to just put his nose through half a gap. Nearly gets away.
So dangerous with the football when he takes the line on Woodburn Hall.
And now they come out to this left-hand side. Here's Brad Graham again as he run out of room. Look to get the offload away, and Oldham survive, back in possession. Maybe just a little bit of overplaying there from Halifax.
Yeah, a bit excited there from Halifax, but they're so dangerous when they play that type of football. When they start offloading, they're outside backs, second phase football, they're hard to stop. And at the start of the season, their first 5 games, they won. That's what they were doing.
Goro runs right at Tangata. And Oldham just being restricted in this set. Progress slow, but now they are up to halfway. So a few bonus meters there as they come into the last. Up goes the kick. And again, that wind really hanging, and Nofaluma gets onto the ball and then gets the offload away.
There's that offload. So dangerous from Nofaluma and their outside backs.
Here he comes at acting half and gets the ball away to Hansen. Hansen gives it to Zach McComb, who avoids one tackle before eventually being wrapped up inside Oldham territory. Hansen up to the line. O'Brien with options left and right. Pretty central in those tram lines. It's left that they come out to Hansen, and Tangata now up over the 40.
Halifax slowly winning the territory battle.
Short ball from McCarron to Ronan Dixon. He'll settle about 18 metres away, hand in the air from the referee, so this is last chance in this set for Halifax. Kick goes up from Hansen. Loda Togagai does well. He does really well to keep himself inside the field of play, but a great place for Halifax to turn the ball over.
These are the tough carries. Riley Dean up next, trying to get momentum for the forward pack for Oldham.
Playing the centres, Riley Dean, the 7 in on his back, will tell you that there's a bit of a Swiss Army knife. Play right across that back line as a go row comes up towards the 20-metre mark.
Ben Davis with the carry, tackle 5.
Since that early Oldham try, it's been a real arm wrestle. This game, as you say, Elijah Halifax perhaps just winning that territory battle at the moment, but that is an awkward kick for Jouffret to deal with. He's going to have to give himself up here.
That's a better kick from Josh Drinkwater, mixing it up. Not end over end, he went for a spiral and got a result.
So Halifax's time with the job of carting the ball out of their own half. Nokaluma in at acting half, brings it out to Hansen, and now that's a high head contact in. He was going down, so there'll be mitigating circumstances in there.
Yeah, that's a tough one. He slipped, he was falling. A lot of debate around this topic over here and in the NRL. A falling player, but
there's not a huge amount you can do, is there?
You can't disappear. You can't disappear. But it's head contact, so we've got to look after the players. Halifax with the penalty tap.
So Nokaluma decides to go himself. First time we've seen him really carry in this game, and he's lost the ball. He's gone backwards, so Ashurst picks it up for Oldham.
Again, Nokaluma playing centre. It's not like him to play in that position. He'll be finding it tough.
Maybe just trying to feel his way into this game, eager to get into his work, but comes up with the error there, so it's a bit of a messy ruck. It's Ben Davies just looking at the referee, who says get on with it, which we now do, and another big contact coming in. Ronan Dixon on that occasion went hunting and found his man. Here's Ryan Lannan.
Huge hit from Dixon. That inspires your forward pack when one of your props put on a shot like that.
Now we come to the right-hand side. Loda Togagai gets the offload away. Back in we come with Craven. Craven to Adam Milner, who finds an offload of his own. Oldham playing a little bit of basketball here, just moving the ball around. Now they've got pretty much the full width to play with. Hurst forced onto his back. This is the last. Options on both sides. It's the left that they come to with Drinkwater. They keep the ball in hand. Togagai plays out to Davies. Pons wants to try and get over in the corner. What a finish that is! Matthew Pons right to tackle to get over. He didn't have a lot of space at all. But Oldham target that left edge again and find joy once more.
Again, catching out David Nokaluma. He's playing centre. So if you see on the replay, he jams outside in on Phoenix. He doesn't land on the pass. Phoenix gets it away. And Kyle Eastman, this is the card he's dealt. He's put David at centre, a position he's not familiar with. And David comes up with a bad read. And it leads to Oldham's try. Great finish.
He goes hunting, doesn't he? He goes after Loda Togagai, who does really well to get the ball away. He's copped one afterwards. He's back on his feet, which is good news. And Oldham go into a 10-point lead with the kick to come. Halifax have just done so much good work for a 10-minute spell there of slowly marching themselves upfield. Only to have it undone. Oldham have had 2 attacking sets and scored from both.
Again, first tackle tap from David Nokaluma. Not accustomed to playing in centre, knocks on. As soon as they got their momentum, they got their pressure, they were applying pressure to Oldham. Then Oldham flipped it around and have gone back to the left edge where David Nokaluma is defending. Josh Drinkwater will be keeping it in his back pocket. David Nokaluma is going to find a lot of traffic coming at him for the rest of this game.
So Drinkwater with his second conversion attempt of the afternoon. Nailed the first one. This one just a little bit further out. He's going to just reset himself. Instrumental in both of those 2 tries. Drinkwater, we can see the impact he's having at Oldham. Kick goes up. It's taken a long time to get there because of the wind, but it's good. It's really good from Josh Drinkwater. It is not easy condition for the kickers this afternoon, and he has absolutely nailed that one. From right on the edge. So the Oldham lead stretches out to 12 points to nil as we see the Matthew Pons try again.
It's good to see Danny Craven and Josh Drinkwater in the halves for Oldham. Danny Craven's leadership, his 40 IQ, where to direct traffic. He's been in and out of the team this year. But when we're in good form, Danny Craven's the starting halfback.
So a little bit of confusion there from Oldham as to whose ball that was, but they do eventually work it out, get themselves moving up the field again. Sean Long will be really pleased with this start, won't he? They've weathered what's been thrown at them from a Halifax perspective, and then 2 chances, 2 tries.
Yeah, we have. Longy will be happy with our forwards, how they've defended.
Drinkwater almost getting himself through the line, gets a quick play of the ball, so Lototoga guy able to get on his bike and try and break through the line.
And this is why Longy's gone with a big forward pack, because Gil Dudson and Zane Musgrove will come through the middle as soon as they get on the field.
Schufrat will just watch that kick into touch.
A lot of experience shown there by Josh Drinkwater. He knows we've got the momentum, Oldham, and he's chosen to slow down the game, give the forwards a breather, set restart, middle of the field, 10 metres off Halifax line.
So Halifax with the first bench rotation of the afternoon. Ronan Dixon comes off, Maxime Jobe on for his debut.
Been a good stint from Dixon. First 15 minutes he's been strong.
Some big contacts in there. Himself and Owen McCarron really leading the line for Halifax. So O'Brien in at dummy half, comes out to the right-hand side, just a short ball to Maxime Jobe on his first appearance in the Betfred Championship for Halifax.
So I noticed the Halifax 4-pack are running at Bailey Aldridge. He's made 4 tackles in that set. Look for more traffic to go to his direction.
Hansen puts a tall one up in the air, Pons underneath, does well.
Great set by Halifax, simple but effective.
Well, they did this after conceding the first try, didn't they? Built themselves back into the game well, only to let Oldham in again. They'll be keen to not make the same mistake this time around, Halifax, as Agoro is the next cab off the rank for Oldham.
Again, as we see a blood bin, David Nofaluma head clash with one of his teammates.
Looks like Nofaluma's okay. I'm just trying to see Brown, the doctor, to see who it is that he's clashed with. We'll see it there. Oh, they both just come around the corner. It's Zach McComb, who he's clashed with, and both trying to tackle Ben Davies from different angles and walking straight into each other. So McComb just receiving a little bit of treatment.
Could be a possible HIS, or the way he got up was a bit gingerly. Not too sure if they're going to go on with it.
Well, he's up on his feet, having a few conversations. If he's still bleeding, he'll have to go off as they get the tape out and strap the bandage to his head. The fact that everything's on the field suggests that he probably is going to stay on. You mentioned the options that are on the bench for Oldham. That first bench rotation, we've seen Halifax already start to make some changes. It could be a real key moment, couldn't it, in this game?
Yeah, I think this is where the art of coaching comes in. When to bring on your next interchange, when to bring your next fresh middles on around the 20-minute mark. We've got Gil Dudson and Zane Musgrove that are ready to come on for Oldham, so expect a lot of traffic going through the middle.
So back underway. Zach McComb does stay on the field for the time being for Halifax. It's Oldham in possession. Out they come to the left-hand side. Here's Lola Togagai. Runs into Hanson, but again, that left edge is where Oldham look to find some joy. The kick will come from the halfway line eventually. Craven, who puts boots a ball on a low bobbling kick that Jouffret will just drift across and pick up. Try and engineer some space for himself. Runs into George Hurst. So Halifax starting this set deep inside their own territory.
Smart kick from Danny Craven. His first couple were to the air, but the wind was too strong, so now he's going to keep it along the ground. Short and low.
20 minutes into this game, Halifax still looking to try and get a foothold here after two Oldham tries, one that came in their first set. Ben Davies and then Matthew Pons with a really good finish on this near side as Jacob Fairbank carries in for the away side.
Great carries from the outside backs of Halifax. Made good yards there.
Hanson puts a tall kick into the air. Pons drifts underneath it, takes it well, gets away from the tackle of Nofaluma. Wrapped up in the end inside his own 10 metres. Davies called into action for Oldham to try and get his team on the front foot. It's a slow play of the ball, so Agora will come off his wing and have a go.
This is where Halifax have been so good start of their season, as their yardage defence, not letting teams out easily from their half.
Ashurst brought down now 35 metres away from his own try line, so Oldham being frustrated in terms of the metres on offer here. And this is the last, so the kick will come from just inside Oldham's 40-metre mark. Pretty much on the 40. Craven again just looks for that game management kick, that bouncing ball out to the sideline. And when you do get yourselves out to a lead early on, you have that luxury, don't you?
That's where experienced halves are so important to your squad. A half that knows how to speed up the game, slow down the game. With his kicking and the experience of Danny Craven. Now that's what Oldham's has missed this last month of footy, is his experience in the spine to take pressure off Josh Drinkwater. See a great kick there, just to reset the game, give the forwards a breath, as Tangata takes tackle one.
So Tangata plays the ball to O'Brien, who now brings things out to the left-hand side. Wilburn Hall will just have a go himself. He's stopped 5 metres inside the Halifax half. O'Brien's options are all to his right-hand side, so that's the way he comes. Halifax up into Oldham real estate, up towards the 40. Calcott on for the Panthers. Hanson, Jouffret, Davies comes flying after him and I think just catches Louis Jouffret high. So it's going to be a Halifax penalty.
This could be a card. Looks like some head contact from Ben Davis. Again, Jouffret, was he slipping going into contact?
It's a wrap around the head, isn't it, from Davies? He's flown out the line to try to make the Hollywood hit and just got it wrong. Maybe just rides up off the shoulder, hits the ball and rides up perhaps. We'll see what decision Matty Lynn, the referee, makes. He's calling 2 players over. One of them is Ben Davies.
Oh, play on.
So the card stays in his pocket on this occasion, just a stern warning, but a first real attacking platform for Halifax.
He's lucky there, Ben Davies, not to see 10 minutes in the bin. I've seen that type of tackle bin punished with a yellow card.
His heart would have been in his mouth, wouldn't he, while he was waiting for the referee to call him over. O'Brien goes himself, then gets the offload away. Wilburn Hall, a little bit of invention here from Halifax as they try and find a way through this Oldham line for the first time this afternoon. Out they come to the left-hand side. Tangata, he's stopped 5 metres short. Shape all stacked over to the right for Halifax. That's the way they come, but drop-off ball back inside to Fairbank, who gets the offload away. Panthers knocking on the door here. Again, the Shape is on the right-hand side. Hanson, short ball. Zach McComb just hauled down in the end by the Oldham defence. Ufreda act in half. Hanson stabs a kick through, which takes a deflection. Played at, says the referee, so a full set in the pocket for Halifax. They might try and do it on this tackle. They're being shepherded over to touch. And I don't know if Halifax perhaps realised
it was 6 again.
That has gone back to 0.
Well, Kyle Eastman will be fuming at his players. That tackle 1 knock on from David Nofaluma changed momentum. They just earned a 6 again, and they've lost it on tackle 1.
I have to say, I was slightly surprised to see the hand go in the air from the referee. I thought that just bobbled around a few legs rather than being played at. Maybe that's what Halifax thought as well, but a golden opportunity goes begging. They've had a full set 10 metres away from the Oldham line, and now they find themselves defending again. Zay Musgrove is on for his Oldham debut, and he takes the first carry.
Brings a wealth of experience from Warrington and the West Tigers, South Sydney. Great to see him here in the championship.
So Oldham making some good progress in this set, and they'll make even more here because they're going to get a penalty for an offside. Or maybe just laying on in the ruck.
Again, Kyle Eastman, he will not be happy at all. They had a perfect opportunity, got a 6 again in the corner. They turned it over tackle 1, and now Oldham have got a penalty, out of trouble, and now Halifax are defending their half as Oldham look to attack.
So Musgrove running from deep, straight into 2 Halifax defenders. Chapelhow for Oldham, he makes good progress, gets the leg pumping. That's Ted Chapelhow off the bench. There could be in here, Ryan Lannon all the way through. Ryan Lannon scores for Oldham. A brilliant line run from the second row. And the Ruffians go over for the 3rd time this afternoon. And the contrast in the way that these 2 teams are using their good ball sets, Elijah, is showing on the scoreboard.
Well, Danny Craven again. He's showing his prowess, his skill, his experience. Gets the ball, squares up, and plays short to Ryan Lennon. Ryan Lennon hitting a great hole. Drinkwater to the line, Craven out the back, short ball to Lennon. Phoenix was the option out the back for Danny Craven, but Craven decides to play short, and that's the money ball.
And they've used that option, haven't they? That Laula Togo guy off the back. They've looked for that a few times this afternoon. This time just that misdirection. A brilliant line from Ryan Lannon to get over.
So that's twice in this half where Halifax have had dominance but turned over tackle 1, and that's led to a try. Now Kyle Eastman, this is what he's going to be talking about at half time. Defending your error. If you make an error, you must defend it as a squad. He'll be disappointed with his Halifax team. As Josh Drinkwater looks to add the extra 2.
Kicking from the other edge on this occasion. He's been pretty impressive from this near side. The wind blowing directly back in his face. Even the sticks are blowing around. Is that windy here at Boundary Park? Hard enough without it being a moving target. So he'll take his time over this one, understandably.
In the context of the game, this is a big 2 points if Josh Drinkwater can nail it.
Well, about 10 minutes left in the first half. It's certainly not game over. It's not panic stations from Halifax perspective, but if Oldham get the next score, then it really is a steep hill to climb.
Yeah, they've got a lot of quality in this Halifax outfit. They won't die wondering as Josh Drinkwater adds the 2.
Finally gets the ball to sit still on the tee and brushes the conversion over. So 3 tries, 18 points the difference here at Boundary Park. 18-0 in favour of Oldham. It certainly looks like Sean Longside have banished the demons of last week's cup exit.
Josh Drinkwater.
So Jouffret gets us back underway. Pons drifts underneath it. Musgrove starts this carry from pretty much back row of the stands. Met well by Nofaluma.
Musgrove running straight at Noffa. Teammates from West Tigers. There's a bit of banter in that.
Sure they'll be sharing a word, won't they, in the ruck?
Tangata makes a strong tackle. They go out to Craven. Lennon playing short.
Halifax doing a good job so far in this set of pinning Oldham in. That'll be perhaps the most frustrating thing, is that they've done a lot of good work only to just let themselves down in silly errors, penalties, coach killers. Lodatonga guy up towards the 40. He's stopped. Oldham fans politely asking for a penalty for a high tackle, not given, so boot goes to ball. Jouffret eventually brings that in over his head. He's met by the tackle of Lannon.
Great attacking set by Oldham. Simple, but they start the set in their 20, so Sean Long wants them to keep 4 tackles inside their 40, and this is tackle 3.
Halifax trying to get on the front foot, trying to make something happen here. Out they come to Tangata again, who's up towards halfway. He's made some decent progress with his carrying this afternoon. Will Calcott into the action. He stopped just inside Oldham's half, so Hansen will put the kick in under some pressure from Ashurst. Pons goes up and takes it well again. He's been really steady under the high ball, the French winger, this afternoon. Here's Ben Davies, perhaps lucky to not have had a stint in the bin, but now carries up towards the 20-metre mark. Here's a go Rose, made himself really busy coming off that edge for Oldham. Eli Pelissier now on for the home team.
Pelissier looking to get around the ruck. If there's a quick play of the ball, he's running. He's fast out of acting half.
Oh, there we go. Right on cue. Rides one tackle before eventually being wrapped up. This is the last. Lodatonga guy brings us out to the left-hand side. Craven again with that bouncing kick to Jouffret. Seems to be a real tactical decision to take the ground route with these kicks rather than hoisting it up into the wind.
Yeah, they've adapted to the conditions. They've made adjustments. They're coming down this left edge. They know Nofaluma's there. They're going to make him work.
Well, here he goes, Nofaluma. You can see him trying to get that arm free. Looking for the upload. In the end, just decides to make sure that he keeps hold of the ball. Met well by Drinkwater and Ashurst. Hansen brings us out, but there's the Oldham defence forcing Halifax back. And the home fans lift. Their team putting in the effort defensively. Milner now in the tackle. Out they come to Jouffret, who puts boot to ball. That's spinning all over the place, but Pons again just drifts underneath it, and he'll return this kick himself. Yeah. Oh, big contact again.
Bob Fairbank, big contact. But that's a great example of a trap 40. You've restricted Halifax to 4 tackles inside their 40-metre. And that's a metric that Sean Long works off. Stoppage and play here. Blood bin.
So for the second time this afternoon, we're just going to take a break. The Looks like Adam O'Brien just receiving some treatment for Halifax, the Panthers captain. Just again a cut above the eye, the looks of it. It's been a quick game, hasn't it? It's felt quick watching anyway.
It has. And now Gil Dudson's on with Zane Musgrove. Two big front rowers. Heavy experience. And then Pellissier is going to be running off there, play the balls. So expect a lot of the Oldham attack to go through the middle of the field. Sean Long's gone for a bigger pack, a bigger bench. There's an argument he went for a lighter bench in the 1895 Cup game last week versus Featherstone. But Halifax, they haven't been playing too bad. Their defence has been strong. It's just some of their errors at crucial times on tackle one. And they haven't been able to defend those errors. And they find themselves down 18 points.
That's Adam O'Brien. Another Halifax player bandaged up. Looks like he's ready to carry on. So Davies will play the ball just inside his own half, pretty much on the halfway line, in fact. Pellissier is in there at dummy half, so he gets his back underway. Musgrove straight into the tackle of Tangata. Makes some extra meters by just keeping those legs moving. Now plays the ball to Pellissier. He brings us out to the left-hand side. Drinkwater out the back to Craven. Craven with a short crash ball to Ashurst, who's up towards the 20. Through the legs of Pellissier from the play the ball. Eventually does manage to pick things up. Craigs along the line and looks for Musgrove again, who shrugs off one tackle. Now looks to re-engage that defensive line. Eventually brought down on the 20. So a bit of a messy end to this set so far. Craven now brings us out to the right. Toga guy looking to go over the top to a go row, but all a bit frantic from Oldham on this occasion. Uncharacteristic of them so far in this game. Halifax will get the ball back on the 20-metre mark.
Catch-22, sometimes when you play erratic, play off the cuff, it's hard to defend. But when it doesn't come off, you have a poor end to the set. And that's the first time this half we haven't got to a kick. And now Halifax, pressure relieved. They're on the 20-metre line and have to ruck it out.
Carl Eastman will probably be just wanting to get his troops into the sheds now with the score as it is. Of course, if Halifax could add one of their own, he'd take that. But the most important thing from a Fax perspective, you would feel at this stage, is that they don't concede any more points before half-time. Get into the break and regroup. O'Brien at dummy half. He'll kick. This is a 40-20 attempt, and it's a good effort, and he's nailed it. So Halifax will get a good ball set right on the Oldham line, an opportunity to put some points on the board right at the end of this first half. That clock on your screen, just a guide, not hooked up to the referee's watch, so not entirely sure how long's left, but you would think they will get a full set at least in.
This is where the team culture and character comes out in these last 5 minutes. Defending your line, you can't afford a team to get through, especially when you played so well in this first half.
So Calcott stopped 5 metres away, pretty central options on both sides. O'Brien comes out to the left to Hansen. Tangata rolling away from the tackle, almost gets himself over the line, but stopped just short.
Great tackle, Ryan Lennon.
O'Brien again, they come left, not the crispest pass in the world, so Hansen does well to just bring it back in and reload. Here's Dufresne, he'll stab a kick through. Nofaluma goes looking for it, but Loda Toga guy does really well to get across his line. And interesting decision to kick early on in the set, considering how few attacking opportunities Halifax have had. And then a penalty to Oldham to boot as well, and well, you feel like Carl Eastman's going to have some stern words for his team at the break.
Absolutely, you must be able to defend your errors. If you come up with an error, you must be able to defend it. But that's 3 occasions where Halifax have had Oldham under pressure And now Oldham have been let out by an easy penalty. Cole
That's
Eastman
a good kick as well in the wind.
Great kick by Josh Drinkwater.
Up towards halfway, so maybe it's Oldham who are going to get one more opportunity to add to this lead. Dudson onto the field. He'll play the ball to Eli Pelissier, who's out to Drinkwater, and here's Chapel out. Ted on that occasion. He'll play the ball. Pelissier, there we go, gets on his bike from dummy half and almost slices through, gets Oldham on the front foot. Lannon goes hunting for his second try of the afternoon and almost gets it, just stopped 3 or 4 metres short. Home side on the front foot. Pelissier out to the right-hand side. Craven trying to get the offload away, unable to. This is the last. One more opportunity then for Oldham to get some more points on the board in this first half. Out it comes to Drinkwater. He stabs a kick through. Jouffre is bouncing around all over the place. And Oldham think they've scored. The referee is going to check.
It could be offside, unless it was an accidental kick from Matty Ashurst.
Oh, he's given it. Try scored. It was pinballing all over the place. I think it's Chapelau in the end who's jumped on it. On the look again in the replay in a second. It is Ted Chapelau. So it's a grabber kick through from Drinkwater. It's just pings off the hands, doesn't it, of Jouffre, and Chapelau on the spot to pick up and jump over. This angle might tell us if there was any issues in there offside. It comes off the foot of Dudson, maybe. It all happens very quickly. But the only thing that matters is that the referee pointed to the ground, that it's 4 more points for Oldham. And the pattern continues of Halifax throwing away good opportunities inside the Oldham half to then find themselves stood under the sticks a few moments later.
Yeah, Cole Eastman will have some stern words for his team coming into half-time. He can't wait for half-time, actually. Halifax need to go inside and regroup. Down 24 points. Drinkwater nails the 2. He doesn't miss those. Just the simplicity that Oldham are playing. But Halifax need to be better defending the errors that they've made. They're shooting themselves in the foot.
Well, I was expecting that to be it for the half, but looks like we will get another set in at least. Jouffre gets us back underway. Musgrove, legs pumping, gets his team up towards the 10-metre mark. Oldham just with that real luxury now of being able to go into game management mode really and get through the sets, and don't have to worry about scoring too many points at this stage. Just want to end the sets in the right places and make Halifax do the hard work. But Goro does well to get up towards the 40-metre mark.
And this is why Sean Long's gone for a big forward pack, because he knew in the back end of the half, Gil Dudson, Musgrove, Chapelau are going to go through the middle. Pelissier off the back of quick play the balls. And here he goes.
To the load of Tonga guy looking to dodge a couple of tackles, brings his team into positive equity for the set. Pelissier just shapes out to the right-hand side and stabs that kick into touch. Still we play on. We've had a few stoppages for head injuries in this first half.
Nice little touch there by Pelissier. Find the touch, find grass. Let us forwards get a rest. And now let them get to work defensively.
Halifax being made to play this game inside their own territory now. They've had their moments, they've had their sets, their opportunities, unable to take them in the first half, and pretty much every time they've given impetus back to Oldham. The home side have taken it willingly and gone up the other end and scored. Woodburn Hall brings it now into Oldham territory. He'll play the ball just inside Ruffians half. O'Brien at dummy half. Out to Hansen. Hansen will put a high one up into the air for Loda Tonga guy to deal with, which he does well.
Great catch by Phoenix. He's been questioned these last 2 months about how he diffuses bombs. But he's been up to scratch.
There is the hooter, so 40 minutes in the book. And it is Oldham who go in far the happier side at the break. 24 points to nil. Courtesy tries from Ben Davies, Matthew Pons, Ryan Lannon and Ted Chapelhow, all four converted by the boot of Josh Drinkwater. And even though on the table Halifax came into this game in second position above Oldham, there's only really been one team in this game so far.
I think Sean Long's selected the side and it's come off trumps. He's gone for a bigger forward pack. He started Danny Craven in the halves. The cohesion that Craven and Drinkwater have, the experience of the kicking game, the game management has been awesome in this first half for Oldham.
So here is the tail of the tape from that first half. 24 points to nil. Davies opened the scoring within just a couple of minutes. Oldham's first set in possession, resulting in points. Pons getting the second with a really good finish on the near side before Lannon got over on the right edge, and then Ted Chapelhow, Johnny on the spot with the ball pinging around all over the place to add four more before half time. So Elijah, we'll just remind ourselves of how that first half unfolded, and this is that first try. Davies just getting in on the inside. He mentioned about the mismatch with Nofaluma playing out of position.
Yeah, Josh Drinkwater playing square and hitting short. John Davis on a short ball goes over the line for the first try. Nofaluma found out of position playing centre. And we go another example. Nofaluma playing centre, jamming on the fullback, didn't land on the ball, and they score a try, an easy try, down on Halifax's right edge. Pons has been strong under the high ball and finishing tries on debut for Oldham.
And then this the third. First time they'd really looked to the right edge, and Ryan Lannon picks that line out beautifully.
Yeah, Lannon's been playing in the middle, but in my opinion, his strongest position is when he plays right back rower. He can hit the line. He's a strong ball carrier. He's got experience. He's played Super League. He's played Championship. He's been in a lot of clubs, but he's a great team player. It's a great try. Danny Craven, sleight of hand.
And then this is the one that completed the scoring in the half. Bouncing around all over the place. Ted Chapelhow, the man on the spot to just reel it in, and Giuffret, who's been really good defensively against those kicks all game, just unable to bring that in. And Chapelhow almost looked a bit stunned that ball had dropped into his hands then, but it is 4 points, and it is 24 points to nil that Oldham take into the sheds at half time. 40 more minutes on the way. We will wait and see if Halifax can build themselves back into this game, or if Oldham will put their foot down. We're going to take a short break. Stay with us. We'll be back with the second half.
Right, this afternoon's golden gamble winner of £250 is 16824. That's 16824. If you haven't looked at that, you need to get yourself onto the Broadway suite and contact David Bottomley or Bradley. Right, so Bradley's been doing a raffle today for a signed frame photograph of Nathan Cleary and a signed frame photograph of Sean Long. One price, one ticket. It is a yellow ticket and it is 936 to 940. So a yellow ticket's been sold in hospitality. So if you've got that ticket, 936 to 940, contact Brady and you have won a signed Nathan Cleary and a signed Sean Long picture. So as you well be aware, this is our last game here at Boundary Park until Sunday the 6th of July. We entertain Flinders Vikings on that day. Kickoff is at 3 p.m. Tickets and hospitality are available for this one from our online ticketing portal at rugbyheads.co.uk/match-tickets. Advance prices do apply if you buy before midnight on game day, with the walk-up price increasing by £4. So the road trip begins next Sunday with a trip to the South Leeds Stadium to take on the Hunters. Then a couple of weeks off, and it's off to the south of France to take on Toulouse on Saturday the 21st of June. And then we go to the Shea on the 29th of June for the return fixture against Halifax Panthers. Your support, as ever, is absolutely vital, and we'd like to see as many of you get on the road to get behind the boys. So don't forget, you can still look apart for the rest of our championship campaign by kitting yourself out in our extra range. Home and away kits and the football field range are available from the athletic store, which is at the back of the Jones Royal stand.
Well, welcome back to Boundary Park. Betfred Championship action here. And Oldham in control at the break, 24 points to nil. Davies, Pons, Lannon and Chapelhow getting amongst the points for the home side. Elijah Taylor alongside me. The story of that half was Halifax not taking their chances and Oldham going straight down the other end and taking theirs, as we saw straight away almost.
Yeah, David Norfolua defending at right centre, making his championship debut. He's not accustomed to defending at centre, and Ben Davies, the St Helens man, identifies that and gets the first 4-pointer of the game. It was early in the half. Again, Drinkwater knows that Norfoluma is not accustomed to defending at centre, and Norfoluma comes up with a bad decision. Phoenix plays out the back, plays early, and goes to another 4-pointer down the right edge of Halifax, with Pons going over in the corner.
So Oldham at the wind in their sails at this point. They kept the momentum going. Ryan Lannon just getting on the shoulder of Danny Craven and going through a gap. Lona Toga guy playing out the back as an option. Just a little bit of miscommunication perhaps from Halifax in defence, and that'll perhaps be the thing that will please Sean Long most, is the way that his team have looked really cohesive when they have gone to an edge and put these set plays on.
Yeah, I think Danny Craven and Josh Drinkwater suit and complement each other beautifully when they play alongside in the halves. And Ted Chapahal gets a 4-pointer. He's very excited. He'll be talking about it all week, about a 4-pointer that he got. Great try though. As you see, the Oldham forwards go through the middle of Halifax Panthers.
That is something that Halifax have struggled to deal with, isn't it? Just that tandem front row work from Oldham and that bench rotation as well. We spoke about it before the game. Gil Dudson and Zane Musgrove coming off the bench to add more momentum to it, and as we see Oldham coming back out for the second half, their job is quite simple, isn't it?
Yeah, just continue, listen to the halves, Drinkwater, Josh and Danny Craven. Just lead the team around. You don't have to score. You can park the bus. You can play conservative. And Danny Craven, he's so experienced. He'll know exactly what to do in every moment in the second half. As Halifax are let out, there'll be some stern words by Carl Eastman in the halftime speech.
So a big job on their hands for Halifax to try and get themselves back into this game. Inman onto the field for the away side. It'll be interesting to see if Eastman responds with any kind of positional changes, if he looks to try and put David Nofaluma into his native wing position. In terms of the kickoff, he's still lining up on that right-hand centre role, so interested to see if Oldham continue to target that edge.
Definitely Josh Drinkwater, he's a good half sense weakness, and he'll be sending a lot of traffic at David Nofaluma, getting him to make decisions, defensive decisions, put him under pressure, making him work. A big mountain to climb here for Halifax.
So Jouffre gets us back underway in the second half. That kick just splits a couple of Oldham players, but Musgrove with the carry started that really deep. He almost manages to break through, so here's Pons with the follow-up carry.
That's what you want to see from your big front rower. First carry of the second half. St Musgrove.
Ashurst. Good defensive work in the end over on that far side. Nofaluma chopping down trees. Is Dudson up towards the 40.
Sean Long's gone for the power game. Pelessier off the back of that.
Looking to try and perhaps win his side a penalty, getting at the markers, but nothing coming. He does manage to find some space and get up over halfway. The kick will come in from Drinkwater. Oh, and an error underneath the high ball, so Oldham with a golden opportunity to get some early points in this second half and just maybe kill this game off early. Dudson, he'll look to just put the ball under his arm and go up the middle.
Yeah, so at this moment of the game, you're just looking for the halves. Danny Craven, Drinkwater, choosing what side to go to. Looks like it's the right.
Pelissier, short ball to Musgrove. Takes on 3 Halifax defenders, stopped a couple of metres short. Pelissier again in the dummy half. Long ball out to the left to Drinkwater. Tonga guy to Davies. He's stopped 10 metres away.
Again, asking questions of David Nofaluma.
Drinkwater out the back. Craven, a little bit of misdirection. Riley Dean can't bring it in cleanly. And Halifax survive. And I think we're going to come back for that knock-on.
Yeah, it was a big ask from Danny Craven, hitting Riley Dean, not accustomed to playing centre. Riley Dean's usually a half, wearing the number 7 jumper. But Oldham are looking dangerous. They're confident. They got that 24-point buffer. There's Halifax. They need to look to their halves to get them out of this trouble. Woodburn Hall, Jaffrey.
So Halifax with full length of the field to try and cover here, but they do have ball in hand, which they will try and do something with. Inman jumping out from dummy half. Gets up towards the 30-metre mark. He'll play the ball to Hansen, who will just come out to the left-hand side. Decent territory made early on in this set from Halifax as they try and get themselves into a position where they can put an attacking kick in. Scruffy offload, and there was a boot in there. Pelissier from Oldham, they're asking for 6 again. Nothing coming from the referee. So out they come to Woodburn Hall. He's wrapped up by Dudson. This is the last, so they'll kick from just inside Oldham territory. Jaffrey puts the ball along the ground. The Tonga guy comes across to pick it up and brings it out towards the 10-metre mark. And now Goro.
Halifax need to be tidy defensively here. Not give away any penalties to get themselves back in this game. They've got to win these outside back tackles.
Here's Pond trying to engineer some space and work his way through.
Again, they find Nofaluma on that edge.
The Tonga guy targeting Nofaluma in that centre shirt. He'll play the ball just short of the 40. Here's Ryan Lannon just trying to line up Woodburn Hall, former Halifax teammates. Tangata in there as well.
Danny Craven with the kick.
So it's spinning around, and that's, well, it takes a huge pounce. 7 tackle set, and probably the first sloppy end to a set that we've seen from an Oldham perspective.
Yeah, he'd be disappointed with that, Danny Craven. He backs himself up with a great tackle from the half.
So out they come to the left-hand side. Inman, oh, it's messy, and it is a knock-on, says the referee. He feels that there was some interference in there, but referee says nothing doing, it is just a knock-on. So Oldham will start this set inside Halifax territory, and well, that is the story of the game, isn't it?
Yeah, at the moment, Halifax slowly gets some momentum. They come up with an error. For everybody at home, the wind, Danny Craven went up for a bomb. Those bombs in the first half weren't making 10 metres. And his first kick of the second half, it's a 7 tackle. So the wind's still playing a major role in the kicking games of both teams here.
So Oldham take the scrum dead centre in the tram lines. Pelissier out to Tonga guy, brings us to that left edge, looks to try and get in between Nofaluma and Hansen. Tackle eventually is made. Ashurst up towards the 20, he's stopped. Pelissier, Drinkwater, drops it off to Gil Dudson, who rides one tackle and then finds contact again. Not a huge amount of progress made, but Oldham still with tackles in their pocket. Drinkwater back inside to Chapel House, sniffing out his second try of the afternoon. He'll play the ball 10 metres away. Pelissier goes one way and then the other, and then finds Musgrove, who reloads the ball out to Chapelhow. This is the last, so plenty of options for the attacking kick. Pelissier will look for Musgrove. Pings off an arm, and they are going to come back for Halifax ball. So maybe the play there was to just keep things simple and look for a kick.
And that was a simple set, and that was just forwards punching through the middle. It wasn't fancy, it wasn't flash, but that is taking energy out of the opposition forward pack. Halifax forwards having to deal with Dudson, with Musgrove, with Chapelhow. Tackle after tackle, that drinks your energy, especially defensively.
So Oldham up towards the 20-metre mark. Halifax in possession with a lot of work to do here, a full length of the field essentially to try and make up as they hunt their first points of the afternoon and try and find a way back into this game. Inman in at dummy half. He brings us out to the right hand side. Halifax now do move into Oldham territory, but this is the last, so it'll be a deep kick.
It has to be a good kick.
Jouffret, that hangs up in the air for a long time. Pons will get underneath it. He's been very, very good under the high ball and manages to wriggle away from a challenge before being settled down.
He's been good under the high ball, Pons. The wind, every ball that's gone up has been a test for him, but he's come up trumps and bombed the fusel.
So Musgrove up over the 40-metre line. Oldham on the hunt again here to try and get themselves into attacking position. Ashurst plays it. Drinkwater now drops it off to Chapelhow.
Again, you can see them working that right edge of Halifax, of David Norfoluma. Drinkwater going back there again.
Up the balls go. Jouffret underneath. Takes it in well, but he's pinned back towards his own goal line, maybe even over it. He is. Brilliant work from the Oldham kick chase, and it's going to be a goal line dropout. And the home crowd liking what they see here at Boundary Park, because their team have got a golden opportunity to get more points on the board and put this game to bed.
The experience of both halves, Craven and Drinkwater, they've pulled the strings this whole game in kick selection. Now the forward pack from Halifax, yeah, their energy levels will be down because they've been having to deal with Zane Musgrove, Chapelhow, Dudson, as Mons goes for a carry.
Oh, Tangata finding Pons there, didn't mix with his shoulder. Pelissier now brings us out to the right hand side. Chapelhow up towards the 20. And now Drinkwater out the back to Craven. Here's Lola Tonga guy looking to try and find a mismatch in that Halifax defensive line. Nofaluma doing his job on that occasion, bringing him down. Out they come again to Craven. Oh, a little bit of juggling and he could be through. Still going. That would have been a Hollywood try if he'd scored it.
So dangerous when he takes the ball on. The strongest asset is his running game, Danny Craven.
Shades of Rangy Chase with that kind of ball handling as Musgrove now looks to try and engineer a little bit of a gap to muscle his way through. Still going, Zane Musgrove. Stopped 4 metres away from the line. Plays the ball on last tackle. So out they come to Drinkwater, who puts the grabber kick through, and it just takes a few too many rotations. It was Dudson who was chasing it, and now Nofaluma gets on his bike and looks to try and engineer something for Halifax, who have an extra tackle in this set.
You'll be disappointed, Josh Drinkwater relieving the pressure valve on Halifax with a poor kick, put too much power behind it. And now Nofaluma started off Halifax set with a 7 tackle. Nofaluma needs to stand up here. He's star signing for Halifax. His outside back carries. He needs to call for the ball.
So So now they come to the left-hand side. Halifax with perhaps the first look at the Oldham line in this second half. Now they come to the right. Oh, that goes to ground. Nofaluma with a bit of cleaning up to do before getting the ball out to Tibbs, who cuts back on the inside and looks for a gap and goes through it. Tibbs nearly through. Halifax's best chance of the second half to try and find some points. Oh, Burn Hall almost passes that to himself. Jouffre cleans up. Inman. Last chance saloon in this set for Halifax. Can they engineer something? The defence from Oldham is good. And again, just when it looks like Halifax have got the home team on the ropes, they come up with a mistake.
Yeah, playing the scoreboard now. Halifax playing eyes up. Pass it to someone, you do it. Pass it to someone, you do it. Just make it up as you go. Their halves need to take control. Jouffre.
A go row up over the 10. Plissier, Davies. Oldham's outside backs as they have all afternoon coming in off their wing looking for work. Here's Lannon. Distinctive running style, firing into the Halifax line. Plissier, Lola Tonga guy. Oldham just keeping it simple, working up through the middle. All they need to do with a 24-point lead. Drinkwater boot to ball. Hoists it up into the air. Tibbs drifts underneath it and brings it in. He'll look to try and crab across the field and find some space, but just runs into the tackle of Ryan Lannon.
The outside backs of Halifax are getting to work, trying to inspire their forward pack. They haven't had much ball.
That'll help. A penalty. They've not had too many of them, but a strip, says our referee, Matty Lynn.
Yeah, they needed that.
Jouffre puts the ball into touch, so Halifax will start this set about 23 metres away from the Oldham line. Here's Hanson. Short drop-off ball to Calcott, who comes into the 20. O'Brien back onto the field at dummy half is Nofaluma, comes one way and then the other, trying to cut back on the inside, but wrapped up by that Oldham defence. Been levelled to him all afternoon so far. Inman. Connor Davies is stopped 10 metres away. Dead centre. O'Brien shapes one way, goes the other. Tangata, really good defensive effort. Out they come to Alfie Johnson, who wriggles away and scores. Alfie Johnson on debut gets his first 4 points in a Halifax jersey. And boy did his team need them. And he's done really well to engineer himself some space on that left-hand side and score in the corner.
He did really well. One-on-one with Riley Dean. Put on some footwork. He had a lot of work to do. Great ball from Jouffre. Left foot, right foot. Catches Riley Dean. Flat-footed. He's done well to stay up.
It's a really good finish, isn't it?
Outstanding finish.
Difficult job for Louis Jouffre over on this near side.
I mentioned in pre-game, the outside backs for Halifax, that's their strength. They need to get the ball as much as they can because their forward pack, they're low on energy from defending Musgrove, Gil-Dudson, Chapelhill. So the outside backs, Nofaluma, Jouffre, need to get their hands on the ball to inspire their team to get back into this game.
So the wind playing havoc with the kicking tee. Jouffre kicking into a really strong breeze here. Drinkwater immaculate for Oldham. Jouffre unable to find the same accuracy, so it stays a 4-pointer. Oldham 24, Halifax 4, but the away side on the board, and that might just breathe some life and some confidence to Kyle Eastman's team.
Well, they've been playing well all year. They started the season 5 wins in a row. They can do it. They will get confidence from that. But again, can their energy levels from their forwards get them the momentum that they need? Because as mentioned in pre-game, Sean Long's gone for a big pack.
Well, if they can go back-to-back Halifax, they will feel that there is a route back into this game for them. They have had field position, they have had opportunities. Up until that point, they've not been able to make them count, and that won't help. Tangata leaves the ball on the floor. And Oldham now with a golden opportunity to hit straight back, and they're going to get a penalty for a high shot here. And Will Calcott, who went after Chapelhow, and interesting to see what Matty Lynn makes of this.
And this is the frustration levels when you are fatigued and you're a forward, you're trying to start something for your team. There's nothing in that.
Just rides slightly high, doesn't it? But nothing malicious in it.
No. But again, that's the sign of frustration from a forward pack that hasn't got dominance and it's low in energy. Because they've been coming up with those poor errors. That was tackle 2 by Tangata. And now they're on the pump. They're defending their line. And now their forwards have to deal with Musgrove, Chapelhow, and George Hurst.
Musgrove, who just takes a direct route, first carry of that set, and now they'll come out the back to Craven. He gives it to Drinkwater. Ashurst hits that outside line, nearly gets himself over. Very similar to what Ryan Lannon did in the first half, but just unable to make those last couple of metres. Chapelhow will settle this ball just to the left-hand side of the sticks. Now we come out to the left. Oh, and an interception. Nofaluma could be away. Doesn't have the gas to go himself, but gets the offload in on the inside. Ben Tibbs finding some space on that right-hand side. He chucks the offload back in, and now it's Oldham coming back. Felix Logatonga, guys, all happening. And he's stopped on the 40-metre mark, and Halifax perhaps just getting a little bit giddy. They had the interception. They didn't need to do it all on that play.
No, they're playing the scoreboard. Nofaluma comes up with a big play. I mentioned if Halifax are going to get back into this game, the outside backs of Halifax need to come up with some big plays. Nofaluma with the intercept. And then they come up with an offload. And now Oldham are back on attack again. They hand over the ball, tackle 1. Kyle Eastman will be fuming with his squad.
So here's Lola Tonga guy trying to shore things up. Ben Davies will fancy himself from here, and he may have scored. This could be a brilliant finish from Davies. The referee gives it. He gets the arm free to slam the ball down. And that is a really good try from the Oldham centre.
Again, they've gone to the left edge. Drinkwater is not going to let Nofaluma sleep. He knows he's not a centre. And the experience of Drinkwater to keep asking questions this whole game of David to come up with a play,
Here's the break. Tibbs just unable to get away. Throws the ball back inside, which is swept up by a Lola Tonga guy, and that just gave Oldham enough field position to get themselves in range really in this set. And we'll have a look at Davies. Cuts back on the inside. It's actually Hansen that he goes over the top of, and he does really well to keep the arm free and get that down.
Great try by Ben Davies. So Nofaluma was in two minds there, because in the first half he jammed the fullback up the back. But on this try, he decided to stay out. And then Davies had momentum on him. And they ended up dragging Nofaluma back over the try line. So for a lot of people at home, they think winger's defensive job and centre's defensive job are similar, where in reality, on the field, they're totally different, absolutely different. So David, his whole career, he's been learning to jam from the wing. But now he's playing centre, and he's coming up with poor decisions as Josh Drinkwater goes for the 2 points.
Oh, just hits the post. The first blemish on his card for the afternoon, but it is not easy conditions for the kickers. And a lot of them have come right from the edge. But then Ben Davies cancelling out that Halifax try. And Lola Tonga, guys, had a really bright game jumping into the line, just finding him on that crash ball. And the former St Helens man doing really well to get his arm free. Slam that ball down.
Phoenix has been dangerous.
Oh, that's going to go out on the full, I think. Yeah. Another cardinal sin. And in this wind, Jouffre must have put some juice on that kick to clear the sideline.
Where's Kyle Eastman? Is he still up here? He would be the coaching box of Halifax. There'd be some stern words going through those microphones down to the SNCs on the sideline.
Trying to see where he is. I can't spot him. He might be putting the kid on the way that this is going.
Yeah, and now, again, Halifax hand the ball over. Tackle one from a poor kickoff. And now they're defending their line. Musgrove again, going through the middle.
Well, they're enjoying themselves now, Oldham. They can sense an opportunity here to make a real statement. They've been very good in the first hour of this game.
And this is why Sean Long's gone for a big pack.
So Hurst will play the ball. Dead centre, Drinkwater. Ashurst just coming back on the inside. There's been a lot of that. Changing the point of attack. Drop-off balls. Players learn against the grain from Oldham this afternoon, and it's worked. Drinkwater, Craven, Lola Tonga guy might try fancy 4 points of his own, but he's wrapped up on this right-hand side. Craven in at dummy half. Out to Drinkwater. Drinkwater short ball to Ted Chapelhow. Again, fairly central. They'll come left. This is the last. Drinkwater gets the offload away. Chapelhow shrugs off one, shrugs off another. Just short. For a second, he looked like he was going in for a second of the afternoon.
And this is wearing down the Halifax forwards. So Drinkwater chose not to kick. He chose to turn it over 1 metre off Halifax's line and asking Halifax, bring it off. Bring it off your line. Where's your yardage carries? It's a good place to turn over the ball.
Well, interestingly, we've probably about 20 minutes left in this game. Adam Milner about to come back on. That'll be interchange number 7. So still another opportunity for Oldham to shuffle their pack a little bit. They've got Dudson sat on the sidelines, ready to go. Jay Chapelhow as well, so that impact off the bench.
Musgrove with a huge hit.
He's enjoyed himself, hasn't he, on debut? Showing that Super League pedigree. Here's Nofaluma into some space. Can he try and engineer something? Up towards halfway. Growing into this game in the second half. David Nofaluma, but perhaps just too much for him and his team to do. Inmanor loses his feet, and that stops that play in its tracks.
I think that's the blueprint. You have to shift the ball. You can't go through the middle of this Oldham forward pack. You're going to have to give it early ball to the wingers, to the centres, to get a one-on-one with their centre and wing. As Phoenix plays the ball, tackle one.
So Milner on the field. Ted Chapelhow, who's come off in his place. With a big stint from the Oldham forward. Agoro playing the ball slowly, and he's holding his knee, shin perhaps, Agoro, so there'll be some concern there for the Oldham winger.
Yeah, he was under injury cloud coming into this game, Mo. Officius pubis, I believe. It's a hard injury to negate, especially with the amount of running and the speed he has as well.
Well, he's staying on the field for the time being, which is a positive from an Oldham perspective, as Davies now looks to eat up a few more metres over on that far side. Hand in the air from the referee, so the kick will come from on the 40. Jouffret will drift across and take the ball in for Halifax, but he's driven back by 3 Oldham defenders. We're just going to take a break here. Referee's just going to
off the mark,
tidy things up around the ruck and bring them back to the mark.
So it's a simple defensive set here for Oldham, but Halifax need to get expensive. They need to shift the ball. They can't just go one out against this forward pack as they look to move to the edge.
Yeah, Halifax have realised that they need to employ a little bit of expansion now and try and do things a little bit differently to try and catch this Oldham defence out. They've not been able to do it so far, just the one try. Alfie Johnson in the corner for Halifax. Woodburn Hall now drops it off to Brad Graham. This is the last, so O'Brien at acting half will bring the ball out to Winman. Now it goes, oh, that's gone backwards, it's caught in the wind. Tibbs gets underneath it and gets the offload away to Nofaluma, so still Halifax play on. They'll come over to this left-hand side now and look to try again, and eventually the tackle is made, still 5th. That kick will show you what we've been talking about this afternoon with the wind here at Boundary Park.
Yeah, it hasn't relented. The wind has been strong all game. It's affected the kickers. It affected Oldham in the first half, and now it's doing the same to Halifax as Riley Dean takes tackle 1. But Halifax need to shift the ball. When they're attacking, they need to go out to their wingers and their centres to get one-on-one opportunities, because they're not going to go through this forward pack.
Musgrove will carry up to the 40. And they'll play the ball. Hurst, again, just keeping it between the tram lines. As the clock ticks down here at Boundary Park on what has been so far a very impressive performance from Oldham. Real response to that defeat in the 1895 Cup last week.
Yeah, it's amazing what a few changes to position can do to a squad. The biggest feature for me is Danny Craven back at halfback. Just his experience.
Dean looks to kick back on the inside. Woodburn Hall picks that up. I think he's knocked on in the process, he has. So Oldham earn themselves another attacking set.
That's unlucky from Woodburn Hall, trying to catch it on the volley.
Yeah, difficult ones to take those, aren't they? Around your ankles on the full.
Definitely difficult to take under fatigue as well. And now Halifax have to defend their line again. Under pressure, under fatigue, dealing with their forward pack of Oldham. With the halves pulling the strings, Drinkwater, Craven, as they look to the left edge, testing out Nofaluma again.
So they'll take the scrum dead centre as the fresh gust of wind rings around Boundary Park, and they do go over to that left-hand side, up over the 10-metre mark. Looks like Jay Chapel-Howe getting ready to enter the fray below us, but they could score here. Oh, the Tonga guy goes over. Oh no, he doesn't, he's short. For a second I thought he managed to do enough, but stopped inches short, millimetres in fact. And then the ball comes loose, but illegally, so it's a Oldham penalty and a brand new set to try and work themselves some points.
Again, isolating Nofaluma's inside shoulder.
Got the arm out, just wasn't long enough.
Nearly. Halifax now defending their line. They need to regroup and stop the momentum from players like this. Musgrove,
he'd love a try on debut, wasn't he? As he carries up towards the try line, stopped 5 metres short. Now they'll come out to the right-hand side. Craven steps back inside, met by Woodburn Hall. Manages to make a few bonus metres, Danny Craven, still getting the legs going. Now they come out to the left, Drinkwater, Musgrove. Shakes off Hanson and then goes over. Has he got the ball down? Referee says he has. Zane Musgrove scores on debut. In fact, it might have been Ashurst.
Beautiful offload. We didn't even see it.
Just behind the sticks, so we couldn't see it. I think it is Ashurst who's gone over. We're going to have a look at it. But Oldham cantering to 2 points in the Betfred Championship. See that again. Just in that melee of players, Musgrove able to get it away.
Great offload by Musgrove. Matty Ashurst pushing up with his props, as all good second rowers do.
Just managing to get the ball down on the line.
Comes up with a big play, but again, when you choose a big forward pack, these are the fruits you get towards the back end of the half. Still 10 minutes to go. The scoreline could blow out because the fatigue's crept into the Halifax forwards. I think Oldham have used all of their interchanges. So what you see is what you get with this forward pack until the final whistle.
So Drinkwater brushes over another 2 points, pushes the lead out to 34 points to 4 here at Boundary Park.
Again, we've seen Drinkwater go to the line, hit Musgrove, and a cutout pass. Musgrove, right arm offload to Matty Ashurst. The experienced veteran goes over for a 4-pointer.
So a pretty disastrous afternoon in Oldham for Halifax that have come here fully expecting to put in a decent performance and hoping to come away with 2 points, but pretty much from minute one when Ben Davies got over to score in the corner, it's been all Oldham. So they go with the short kickoff. Riley Dean does really well to get underneath that and bring that in.
That's a great tack from Dean. Under a lot of pressure, a lot of traffic, as Mo looks ginger as he takes that carry. Not sure if he's 100% fit.
So Aldridge brings us out to the left-hand side. I'll give you a few minutes, Elijah, to have a think of your Betfred player of the match. There's a few contenders out there in an Oldham shirt. Sure, as Craven drops the ball back inside to Lannon.
It'd be hard to choose. But Oldham have getting into their work. The halves are pulling the strings now. Craven, Drinkwater. Let's go at the back. Testing off Luma again. Short ball.
Oh, a forward pass. So on this occasion, the referee will bring us back.
Yeah, got a bit excited there.
It'll be Halifax scrum in the tram lines. Referee not happy with the ball, so just asked for a new one. And Oldham fans enjoying this over on that far side.
Yeah, the fans will be asking, where was this last week? Where was this dominant performance? As Halifax,
sense of what could have been.
Yeah, definitely.
Wembley on the line, of course, last weekend. Just 2 points today, but 2 very valuable points as Tangatar tries to come down his left-hand side. He'll play the ball on the 40. Jouffre trying to get a hurry on. Woodburn Hall brings us out to the left-hand side to Inman. Jacob Fairbank stopped on the 40, so no real progress made in that play from Halifax. But they come to the left-hand side. Woodburn Hall again. Short ball to Tangataru. Rides a big challenge.
Danny Craven.
Tackling like a forward.
I've never seen a halfback defend as strongly as Craven. When he puts on a good shot, like any best forward in the game, he knows how to put on.
Oh, Musgrove working really hard. Even with the scoreboard like this, Oldham doing everything they can to defend the line.
He's played well today, Zane. On debut in the championship. It's good to see him in the competition. As Oldham with the ball, bringing it out of their own line with Riley Dean.
So Aldridge brings us out to the left. Here's Davies, who'll just put his head down and try and carry through the line.
There should be simple yardage meters on offer now because Halifax forward pack are tired from defending the big boys through the middle.
Now they come to the left-hand side. Aldridge just checks back on the inside, brings up towards the 40. Lola Toga guy is Hurst. Signed for Wigan in the off-season, Hurst, before being loaned back to Oldham. That's a knock-on, says the referee. So we'll take this opportunity, the breaking play, Elijah, to get your Betfred player of the match.
Yeah, the player of the match. It's harder to decide between the two halves, but I'm going with Josh Drinkwater. He's been instrumental in that left edge attack. He's identified Nofaluma as the centre, and he's made him pay on 3 occasions. The sleight of hand and the direction, pulling the strings with Danny Craven, his halves member, but man of the match, Josh Drinkwater.
So there you go, Josh Drinkwater, your Betfred player of the match. Brilliant with boot and with ball in hand. Right at the centre of this Oldham performance that's seen them 34-4 points to the good with about 4 minutes left in this game. Halifax will be hoping that this is just a blip. Some new signings in there, a lot of excitement about what they've been able to bring in. We've not seen much of that on display this afternoon. A few half breaks for Nofaluma. We're just going to take a break here because one of the corner posts has blown off and blown halfway across the field.
At the start of the year, Halifax 5 in a row, as I mentioned, but they had Conrad Howell on this left edge, and he was devastating at the start of the season. And they really miss him. His yardage carries out of their own end. And him and David Nofaluma back to back. Now they'll be able to put this Halifax team and get the momentum back for the squad because they've missed some punch out the backfield.
Ben Crook's missing as well. Plenty of experience there on that edge for Halifax, not in the team.
Definitely.
Harrell back with St Helens now, looking to work his way back to fitness and form and get himself into the first team. But I'm sure we will see Halifax use that dual registration link throughout the season. Tangatar pushes up towards the 10-metre mark. Hand in the air from the referee. So one more opportunity in this set for Halifax to do something. Hanson puts the kick across. Nofaluma goes up for it. It comes down into the hands of Zach McComb, trying to keep the ball alive. Here's Jouffre, comes wide. Juggling act from Brad Graham, and now he'll come back to the edge and just throws a nothing ball, which in the end is intercepted from Matty Asher. So that's a bizarre end to the set from a Halifax perspective.
Yeah, it'll be disappointed with that, Carl Eastman. He'll be disappointed with his halves. It's a golden opportunity. They know the game's gone, they're chasing the clock. But again, you need to see composure from the forwards. Dare I say there'll be a lot of changes made if there's available bodies for Halifax because they've been poor today.
So Lannon taking on 3 Halifax defenders a couple of metres away from the line. Oldham just with that luxury now, being able to run the clock down. Haven't got to do anything, haven't got to try and force anything. They know that taking 2 points here as Musgrove comes off after an impressive debut. First time in an Oldham shirt. Giving the home fans a taste of what's to come as Jouffre takes that high kick.
Yeah, 18th month deal. Oldham fans very excited with Zane and the forward pack that Mike Ford and Sean Long are putting together here.
Huge amount of investment that's gone into not just this squad but this club and bringing them back here to Boundary Park. Untouchable pretty much in League One last year. cantered to promotion, of course. A lot of reasons to be excited. I know it's an ownership group and a club that's got real ambitions of making it back to the Betfred Super League. Founder members, of course, in 1996. As Halifax get a late penalty here, Jouffre will just put this ball into touch, and perhaps one more opportunity as the clock counts down for Halifax to get some points on the board.
Mike Ford had put a lot of work in behind the scenes here at Oldham. He's put together a great squad, good coaching staff, a lot of investment. As Oldham defending their line, as I said, these moments in the game define your team culture. When you're defending your line 3 minutes ago, 2 minutes ago, your character, your culture, what it's made of, defending the line. The game's in the bag, but that doesn't mean you give up. That doesn't mean your standards drop. And Sean Long will be looking at every single player's attitude, body language in these moments.
Woodburn Hall steps through, and he will get a late consolation. A little bit of magic from the Halifax halfback. Slice through a gap and score under the sticks. So Halifax will get one more try in this game. It's all come too late. But James Woodburn Hall finally finding a way through this Oldham defence.
Down to a number 1-on-1 miss by Phoenix. Yeah, Sean Long, those little things, they're massive in big games. You won't be happy with that try, how easy it was. Oldham need to do better there, especially if they want to climb this ladder. They need to get those type of tries out of the game and show defensive strength and steel.
Jouffre added the conversion in double quick time, so it is 38 points to 10. Halifax trying to get on with it. Oldham in no rush here, as you'd expect, just sauntering back to the halfway line. And again, that clock on your screen not connected to the referee's watch, so perhaps another minute or so left to play, but there won't be long left here at all. Less stoppages in this second half than we saw in the first. Halifax back with ball in hand. Connor Davies will play the ball just short of his 10-metre mark.
Yeah, some Halifax players will be playing for their jersey in this last 2 minutes. They've been poor today. They need to shift it wide and get it to their edge players.
Tangatar is probably one of the Halifax players that can hold his head up the way that he's carried the ball, although he's taken a knock here, so some concern. Back on his feet now. Just a little bit gingerly. We'll get a... Oh, no, we won't. He'll get on with it. Thought he was going to get some attention from the doctor, but does get back to his feet and play the ball. So Halifax up towards the 40. Hansen out the back to Jouffre, who's wrapped up.
Great read by Josh Drinkwater, our man of the match. Defensively, he's been sound. He's been up to any question that Hansen has thrown at the left edge of Oldham. As Phoenix looks to counter-attack.
And there goes the hooter then. Phoenix Tonga guy just takes the tackle. And that is that in the Betfred Championship. Oldham Imperious, 34-10 winners against Halifax Panthers. And really from not quite minute 1, minute 2 perhaps, when Ben Davies went over in the corner, it's been a very, very polished Oldham performance. And Sean Long will be a very happy man, you would think, with the way his side have responded to being knocked out of the 1895 Cup at the semi-final stage last week. And it is 2 points that makes it even tighter at the top of the Betfred Championship table. The race for the playoffs. I know we're only in May, but already it looks like it's going to be a sprint finish.
Yeah, Oldham played well today. They've executed well. They come off the disappointment of last weekend versus Featherstone. And that's the best way to get back on the horse, is with a win like that, a dominant win, a professional win. The halves are great today. Craven, Drinkwater.
Yeah, there's your man of the match on screen, Josh Drinkwater. It was a bit of a surprise, wasn't it, when he stepped down from the Super League into the Betfred Championship, and he's shown all that class this afternoon, commanding this team around the field.
Yeah, he's been outstanding for Oldham. As soon as he arrived at training, the standards lifted, the intensity lifted, and that's what a good half, the effect he has on a squad. But his partner in crime, Danny Craven, when those two start and they pull in the strings together, it takes pressure off Drinkwater, and then Drinkwater can play even better because he doesn't have to worry about kick finishes. He doesn't have to worry about where the ball is set for the play.
So 80 minutes in the books here at Boundary Park, and this is how it unfolded. 34 points to 10. 2 tries for Ben Davies, Matthew Pons, Ryan Lannon, Ted Chapelhow, Matty Ashurst joining him on the scorers. Josh Drinkwater knocking 5 of the 6 kicks over. Alf Johnson and Woodburn Hall, the try scorers for Halifax, who will be very underwhelmed with their own performance this afternoon. So Elijah, we'll just have a look at the tries again. This is the first one. Seems like a long time ago now. Ben Davies going over in the corner, and that really set the tone, didn't it, for Oldham?
Yeah, again, our man of the match, Josh Drinkwater, recognises Nofaluma's out of position, takes him on, plays short to Davis for the try, and again, Drinkwater takes on the left edge, picks the right pass, and Pons goes over for a try. Again, set up by our man of the match, Josh Drinkwater. He played outstanding today.
Honorary mention as well to Ben Davies, who scored 2 of his own and was instrumental in a couple more. I thought he had a really good showing today.
Again, Josh Drinkwater on the right edge, plays square, goes out the back to Danny Craven. Danny Craven plays short to Ryan Lennon, hitting an out ball, and it's good to see Ryan Lennon back in the second row.
And then this one rounding off the half, a little bit of fortune to it, the kick taking a bounce about, and then Jouffre unable to bring it in cleanly, and Ted Chapelhout will be pleased with that one, being able to get over.
Yeah, he'll be talking about it all week at training, how hard of a try it was to score. But again, Josh Drinkwater with the kick.
Well, this is Halifax getting themselves back into the game. It was always a big chase at this point, but Alfie Johnson doing well to find some space. The Warrington Wolves low knee.
Yeah, it's good vision by Jouffre. He noticed that Riley Dion's on the wing, one-on-one with a Super League winger, and you know he's going to come up with the play here. But again, Josh Drinkwater, fingerprints all over this highlight reel, takes on the left edge again, puts Ben Davis one-on-one with David Nofaluma, and Ben Davis comes up trump. He played strong today, Davis.
So second of the afternoon for Davies. And then again, as we saw a lot, just targeting that left-hand side. We thought Musgrove had gone all the way on this one. He did really well to get the offload away and find Matty Ashurst, who crashes over from short range.
Yeah, Musgrove, great on debut in the championship today. Again, man of the match, Drinkwater finds him with a cutout ball, but Jouffre shows his strength here on the second try for Halifax. Too little, too late. But again, the strength, and they need to do more of this. He needs to run the ball more because his strength of his game, Woodburn Hall, is his running game.
So a comfortable win for Oldham, 34 points to 10. We get the head pitch side now to Paul Kidd, who's with Sean Long and our player of the match, Josh Drinkwater.
Performance there, you've got yourself the player of the match, but overall what a great team performance that was today.
Yeah, massive. I think probably the last few weeks we've been a little bit below our standards. We had a really good week of training this week, stripped everything back and just had a couple of little focuses to work on, and I thought we've done that outstanding. I thought our middles were great, carried hard, won the ruck, and it made it easy for us.
You talked there about your middles. Yourself, you've got plenty of experience at this level, but just how much easier does it make your job to sort of guide the team around when you've got the middles taking you forward the way they did today?
Oh yeah, any halfback would tell you, mate, when you're playing behind a pack that's going forward, it makes our life easy. So I thought they were great today. And obviously bringing Zane Musgrove in is a big plus for us. I thought he was great off the bench, added a lot of impact for us. And then, to be honest, everyone else, our outside backs, Mathieu, the French fella on the wing on debut, he was great carrying out the backfield. So I thought from 1 to 17, everyone can really hold their head high.
And obviously mentioning Zane Musgrove there, and, you know, massive signing for the club. Just how much of a lift does that give the players around you when a player of that stature comes into the club?
I think it's massive. I think it speaks volume of the club and what they want to do, the ambition they have. I mentioned to Michael on Monday that we could be a chance of getting Zane, and they got over the line within a few days. So the club showing their ambition, quality sign like that to get Zane over the line, and he showed his worth today.
Josh, thank you for joining us so quickly. We'll let you get back to your teammates. We'll bring in head coach Sean Long.
Sean Long.
Sean, you must be absolutely delighted with that victory today.
Yeah, over the moon. I feel like it's been coming for a while. We just haven't pieced it all together for 80 minutes. And, you know, I thought, like Drinky spoke about there, we had a few key focuses on going into this game. You know, getting back to our standards and getting our kick chase right. Playing behind a good pack. And, you know, I thought it was a really good team performance today.
You talked there about the kick chase. Obviously, we've just interviewed player of the match, Josh Drinkwater there. Just how important is it to you to have a player of that experience in the middle, just organising the backs and going, you know, off the back of the forwards?
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, any halfback will tell you, a good halfback will tell you, you need a good pack foot player behind. And if you get that bit right and get some go forward, then Drinky will pull the strings for you. And, you know, he's like kind of our quarterback. He puts a lot of players on, plays on ball. And then it frees up Phoenix and Danny Craven to then move about. So, yeah, I thought it was real good. A real good team performance today.
And the team overall, you talked about sort of getting the fundamentals right pre-match. What's pleased you the most today? Is it the defence, which was absolutely outstanding, or obviously the fluent attack as well?
Yeah, probably the defence for me. I think that's always wins games and big games. And, you know, we completed 18 out of the 19 sets in the first half and just didn't get bored of that. And, yeah, but we had to show some grit and resilience there defending our try line. There were some big plays from Phoenix, Ryan Lannon and Mo Goro to save some tries. And I think that's been the difference today, where we just kept turning them away in the first half. And then we got our rewards down the other end when we got the ball.
And finally, Sean, you've got Hunslet away next week. You know, the promoted side from League One. You must personally be absolutely delighted the way the direction the club's going in. But most importantly, on the field, you're in and about that top 6 now. It's a big 2 points for you today.
Yeah, I spoke before about, you know, knocking off 2 points today, and, you know, if we can pick up another win next week, which is going to be difficult against Suns, we know that they're a good team. You know, we're right in the mix of there in the top 4 or thereabouts, and we have a bit of a break then. So yeah, but also I just want to thank Bill Quinn and Mike Ford for actually putting this team together, and, you know, made a big signing during the weekends in Musgrove, and, you know, he's shown real ambition, and we're starting to turn a few heads at the moment, so which I think is great for the club and great for Rugby League.
Sean, thank you for joining us so quickly. We'll let you go, get back to the boys in the sheds, and the best of luck.
Cheers, mate.
So Sean Long, a happy man after his team roll out 34 points to 10 winners against Halifax here at Boundary Park. 2 competition points in the Betfred Championship that could be very, very important come the end of the season. Elijah, I imagine it'll be a much happier week at training for you guys.
It definitely will. A lot of hard work went into this week, putting behind the disappointment of the loss to Featherstone and being knocked out of the cup, but we had a new signing this week, made some changes, and it come up trumps for Sean Long. A simple game plan, but effective versus a Halifax team that played pretty poor today.
Well, Elijah, thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us as well, tuning into the Sportsman as ever. We will have more live Rugby League on the way soon, so stay tuned. We'll let you know when and where we'll be popping up next. And of course, for the last tackle on a Wednesday, 6 o'clock, and we are getting ever closer to that big day out at Wembley under the arch, and we'll be with you all week in the build-up to that one. So hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and we'll see you at the next one. Thank you for joining us on the Sportsman Rugby League.